You're live, but I'm feeling dead. This is the today's noise from the Aaron Zero show. What do we have here for you? Well, number one, the government says that as far as the oil deal is concerned with USA, it is up to the Indian government and companies, and the priority will be that the necessity of the country will come first, and that's a signal to the USA that we will not be bullied by you, uh, because Mr. Trump said that they are not going to buy Russian oil anymore, and according to the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, not so fast. We are going to decide. We, that is the country of India, is going to decide what they need in terms of oil purchases, and they purchase oil from a wide variety of partners, not just Russia. They will continue to do that. And so the message is loud and clear: don't mess with India on the oil buying. And this is just Mr. Trump's game to bully countries if he can. And so far, he's been quite successful in bullying the world. So uh, India will continue to buy oil from whatever sources it wants to shore up its oil reserves and what you call meet its domestic demands. Since India is a great energy consumer, being one of the fastest growing economies in the world, so we need energy, oil, petroleum products, etc. And probably the focus will be more on getting oil from the Middle East, and could be some other sources, but I would think the Middle East is the closest place, though Mr. Trump has demanded that India procure its energy supplies from USA. I don't know how that will work. And of course, presently, the American government is trying to capture ships that are carrying Russian oil. And just now, I think there was news that a shadow tanker had been captured in the Red Sea by American forces to stop the uh, flow of sanctioned oil, so to speak, to other countries, and that will immediately stop the Ukraine war. Of course, it will not. The Ukraine war will continue until Mr. Putin decides that he's up against the wall and he cannot continue. That is the story of the Ukraine war. In other news, the Prime Minister of Seychelles was here and met Prime Minister Modi. Agreement of $175 million in aid to Seychelles has been signed, and to shore them up and give them a lot of cooperation in defense, security, etc. And at the same time, the Enforcement Directorate has been ordered by the Supreme Court to launch many cases against the Anil Ambani Reliance Group. Apparently, Mr. Ambani has bought an $8 million apartment in Manhattan, and they feel that is from the funds that have been siphoned off. We're talking about 40,000 crores, or approximately between $4 or $5 billion. And so the Supreme Court has ordered the ED, that's Enforcement Directorate, and CBI to put a lot of cases against them. They've already frozen about 12,000 crores in property and assets. And I don't know what the hell is going on, but that's what's happening with Mr. Anil Ambani. Maybe his brother will bail him out. I don't know. But that's what we are reading. A lot of raids are continuing on Anil Ambani properties and businesses and offices. And the Supreme Court has said that the special intensive review will continue for the voter lists, and they have given 1 week more to people to respond if they are not on the voter list or their voter names have been cut off. So they want to continue with the voter revision and keep the process going. And then in other news, the opposition parties want to seek a removal of the House Speaker, Mr. Om Birla, as they feel they are not being given an opportunity to speak in Parliament. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has complained also of not being given the opportunity to speak in the Parliament and address their concerns. And apparently, 100 members of Parliament have signed up, and a delegation of congresswomen have also sent a letter to Mr. Ombrilla saying that they have never stopped the prime minister from speaking in the house or entering in the house, etc. So that scenario is also continuing. And what else do we have here? We have the Lambo case, which is a Lamborghini ridden by a spoiled brat there in Kanpur. I believe it's like a 12 crore Lamborghini. That's 12 crores is approximately $2 million. Why would you buy a car for $2 million? Better to buy a house. But anyway, now I'm going off on a tangent here. But what is very strange and weird, or maybe it's not strange and weird, is that after the accident happened, this young man managed to hit about half a dozen people, hit an auto rickshaw, which went for a tumble, hit a motorcycle guy. I don't know if any people have been killed or there have been any fatalities. As of present, we do not know that. But what is quite strange and bizarre is that the moment the accident happened, apparently there was a car carrying security people for him who immediately pulled him out of the car and sent him off. And then they sent the car off to the police station, I guess, to make sure it hasn't been dented. Who cares about the poor people? So actually, this brings me back to the same scenario which happened earlier in Pune, where a super spoiled brat in a Porsche caused the death of a techie, a young techie, and then the family tried to evade the whole thing and change the blood test and whatever. And so it's like the power of money is speaking in the justice system for rich people. They can get away with anything. And that is quite sad. There was another crash also in the city of Delhi, again involving a Lamborghini, but that was driven by, I think, a 24 or 25-year-old guy who went and almost ran over people sleeping on the pavement or something like that. So the time has come to hold people responsible for their actions, and the time has come to hold the parents responsible who allow their kids to go on these super duper cars and drive at, I don't know, 200 kilometers an hour or whatever, or drive super fast, in fact. Uh, there's no sense of the speed limit or the people around you. And that is the condition we find even in the city of Delhi. A lot of people are just driving at nearly full speed or whatever. They do not want to stop for a pedestrian, which is the uh, normal courtesy worldwide, especially in USA, for example. A car will always stop if you are in the middle of the road or whatever. And here they just go on past you, and of course, honking away, creating a lot of noise pollution. That is the other deal. They don't seem to know that the horn is only for emergency use or something like that. And so that's why in the Indian cities, you have a lot of noise pollution besides the air pollution, indiscriminate use of honking and horn at all hours of the day, sometimes even at 3 a.m. in the morning. That is what is going on. They need to be educated, or maybe the driver's license needs to be taken away. And what else do we have? In international news, we had a fabulous program by Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican rapper and singer who performed at the Super Bowl show in Santa Clara, California, in the Levi's Stadium. And he rocked an audience, approximately of 1 million plus people. And I like his message. He said that uh, apparently in Spanish, that I got here because I kept believing in myself. And so you too, that means the crowd, mainly Latino supporters, you also continue to believe yourself, which I think is a beautiful message coming from a Latino superstar. And his concert was very good. He joined later on by Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, who is also Puerto Rican, and they sang some of their songs. Lady Gaga, of course, sang "Die with a Smile," a duet with Bruno Mars, and Ricky Martin sang a song about how Hawaii should be also autonomous, and so should Puerto Rico. So, all in all, a great concert and something radically different from the usual white boy concerts that have been in the past. And of course, Mr. Trump was having none of it. He said this is the worst concert, the most terrible concert. So it shows how far removed from reality is Mr. Trump. There's quite a large Latino population in USA. So at least he should recognize that, but well, he doesn't recognize that. Not to speak of all the workers at the foundation level industries, farmhands, etc., who are all basically Mexican Latino workers coming from Mexico or the South American countries, janitorial, etc., you name it, even in the restaurant industry. The restaurant industry of California would collapse if it didn't have all these restaurant workers. Most of them are Latinos. And in the international news, what do we have? Well, China has sent its media mogul of Hong Kong, Jimmy Lai, to 20 years in prison, and apparently he launched a huge conspiracy. And the conspiracy was actually because he criticized the Communist Party, and of course, they want more freedom in Hong Kong, which used to be a British colony before the British gave it up back to the Chinese. And at the same time, China has put into jail a lot of Chinese businessmen and figures who have been critical of the Chinese Communist Party. And I believe about 47 officials, etc., have been put into jail. So that is the Chinese way to stop dissent, put them in jail. It will never fail. And of course, the Eppenstein files keep on giving us nightmare gifts, and you never know whose name will pop up next. And the good news is that Congress Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey are at the government to pull out the names and pull out the files. So they're doing good work and they're putting great pressure on the government to deliver. And apparently, there are 6 co-conspirators of Mr. Eppenstein whose names should not be redacted. So they're hoping to get those names. And of course, those people would also have to be held accountable. The other weird thing about the Eppenstein files is its repercussions worldwide. Who would expect that? I always thought it was a domestic case, but I was reading that the Norwegian ambassador to Jordan, yes, you heard that right, she has been asked by the Norway government to resign and leave a post because apparently she had connections to Eppenstein, and Mr. Eppenstein left $10 million in his will to her or to her children. So, how weird is that? apart from our very own Deepak Chopra being in the files. Of course, he says the girls are cute and cute girls make noises. And it sounds so unguruish from coming from Deepak Chopra. And now, what else we have? Iran is still in the news. Iranian military says that they will not give up their uranium enrichment. At the most, they can put it down to 60%. I believe 90% is when you can do the warheads. And so the talks are continuing between USA and Iran. Iran says it's ready to go to war. So, and they will be bombing Israel. They've said that in advance. So, and they have plenty of sophisticated missiles to get there and US bases in the area. So, depending on the advice Mr. Trump gets, uh, either Iran will be attacked or it will not. So, stay tuned and we will let you know more. Thanks for watching today's noise from the Aaron Zero Show. Subscribe by the billions if you want to know.